Welcome back, everyone, to Context for Chaos. This is part 5, the final part of Barbara Moore's 2023 interview. Enjoy. Yeah, and you also mentioned how the space created in a spread can support the mind's interpretation of the reading. For example, if I want to look at two people who are seeing each other romantically, I'd pull 3 cards for one person representing their mind, their heart, and their body, and put those 3 cards in a vertical line. And I do the same for the other person, but place their vertical line far enough apart to signal to my mind that these are 2 different people within one spread.
It is. It is. It is. Oh, it's like you read the book and reminding me reminding me of things I've forgotten. But yes, I did have a section that showed how spacing is important and relevant. Yes. Yeah, because if 2 cards are practically touching, that relationship is implied to be very, very close. If they're further apart, it implies they're not really having that much effect on one another.
I could also use what's called the bridge card, right? Which is a card that connects these 2 different people and shows me what their energy blends into, right? This is a way of showing how these 2 people are relating to one another. Am I wrong?
No, actually, you were reminding me of a very happy memory. This was years and years and years ago, but my wife and I were staying with a couple of friends of ours who were a couple, and they were having some relationship issues. And so I did the biggest, longest spread of my entire life, which incorporated 3 decks and took, like, all night. I went to bed. They was the husband and wife were still messing around with all the cards on the floor, but, yeah, we had a deck for her, a deck for him, and then a deck for the relationship. And we did a lot of that bridging, like, her card, his card, the relationship card, all, all yeah, all night
Wow,
long.
that's some patience, Barbara. Well, that's another thing you said in your book. I think a lot of times because there's 78 cards, we can think, "Oh, well, I should have at least 20 cards in a spread." And you got to think about how long you want to be doing that reading.
Mhm. Yes, yes, I love efficiencies, and so I always would prefer to use as few cards as possible to do the job that I wanna do. Now, I'm not generally a pull 1 card and read 1 card. I like to have 3, maybe 2, depending, but I like to have a couple to play off each other and to triangulate because 1 card can mean many, many things. Without the psychic telling me which one to take, I use the other cards to triangulate that. So, yeah, as few cards as necessary, but enough to do what you need them to do. Usually the best option.
So let's go over what we've got so far and see what we've left out. We've talked about vertical spreads, which are cards and positions above and below each other. And this can indicate internal experiences or events that are happening fully in the present. We have horizontal lines that can indicate the passage of time. Diagonal lines can show us steps into or out of something. So that's going with the way that we read. If diagonal steps are going upward from bottom left to upper right, then you're getting out of something. And downward from upper left to bottom right is how you're getting into something. Are there any other good spread formations we haven't talked about?
Triangles, we didn't talk about yeah. I love a triangular spread as well. So a triangle can have a point at the top or a point at the bottom, because we tend to see things as going from top to bottom, unless we're looking at it as a hierarchy where it's going up, which, like, if you think of Maslow's hierarchy, which is triangle, right? That gives you an idea. And then having the point downwards is all of this stuff is happening. It's trickling down and coming to a point. It's culminating in this way, right? So it depends on which way you're kind of going.
Yeah, so you're saying the tip of the triangle is a direction, be it something aspirational if the triangle shape is upward, or if the triangle is pointing downward, it could be pointing or trickling down to a result. And though most of us may only create a triangle spread pointing up or down, if you wanted to have the triangle point to the left, it would indicate a look at the past probably. And if you if it was pointing to the right, it would indicate a result in the future, right?
Right, exactly. Ding, ding, ding. You got it. Okay, so the other one we didn't really talk about then, I mean, we talked about that 5 card cross, which I love, but we didn't talk about circles. And you did mention that the house spread, and it's interesting how different if you have a circle of cards and just a circle of cards. That's one thing. If you have a circle of cards with one in the middle, that changes it completely. Because if you just have a circle of cards, you start, you pick a point and you start, and that card leads to the next card to the next card. They're read in like a cycle, almost linearly, but it's in a circle, so it indicates a cyclical um, situation, but put a card in the middle, then suddenly you bring the focus to the middle. So every card can be read around, as we said, but also can be read in relation to the card in the middle. So if you're doing a querent spread, you're going to want to put the querent in the middle. So, because it doesn't matter what's happening objectively, you want it vis-a-vis them. So you need that focal in the middle.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense as to why we add a card to the middle of a houses spread. A houses spread, for anyone who doesn't know, is using the 12 houses of astrology to represent different areas of your life. And the spread is in a circle starting from the ascendant all the way around to the 12th house. So for a long time, I thought it was indulgent of me to put a card in the middle because 12 cards is already a lot of cards. But reading that gave me so much perspective because sometimes we do have themes that last for long periods of time. So if I look ahead 6 months and the center card is the Emperor, then I know the biggest theme for the querent will be centered around authority, endurance, physical training, maybe, or self-management. And all the cards that I pulled for the 12 houses can be interpreted with the center card in mind. And this gives the specificity I'm looking for without feeling forced into an energy or trying to make each position give me a singular answer.
Right. Right, because yeah, not I just thought of something. Another danger of those spreads that are too specific is sometimes we assume we know things, and we may not know all the things. And if we get too specific, we don't give tarot enough room to answer us in a way that doesn't match what we're thinking we're going to see. So,
Barbara, this conversation has been so informative, and I'm sure everybody has taken so much from this. Make sure you check out Barbara's book, Tarot Spreads, to get more information and to get a lot more spread formations. And thank you so much again, Barbara, for spending your time with me and for explaining spreads to us. It has been an absolute pleasure.
well, thank you for the opportunity and for bringing. I haven't thought about my little spreads book in so long, so I'm so glad to make new friends with it again. And yeah, I hope we work together again soon. You're brilliant and delightful and smart, and I love that.
I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Please check your weekly emails for any new offerings and giveaways. And until next week, blessed be. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, as above, so below, blessed be.